Hi, friends. Welcome to the Fernway Cafe. This week's strategy is a fluency strategy. When we work on our fluency, we're working to read with expression, accuracy, so that we can understand what we read. This week's fluency strategy is to use punctuation as we read. This will help us to adjust our voice depending on the punctuation marks, as well as enhance our phrasing and prosody to make our reading more fluent and smooth and help us to understand our reading. I'm going to be using part of chapter 5 of Because of Winn-Dixie. You'll be able to hear the rest of the chapter with your teacher. Chapter 5. Winn-Dixie couldn't stand to be left alone. We found that out real quick. If me and the preacher went off and left him by himself in the trailer, he pulled all the cushions off the couch and all the toilet paper off the roll. So we started tying him up outside with a rope when we left. That didn't work either. Winn-Dixie howled until Samuel, Mrs. Detweller's dog, started howling too. It was exactly the kind of noise that people in an all-adult trailer park do not like to hear. Friends, I hope you noticed how I paused during this first paragraph when I saw punctuation. For example, in the first sentence, there is a semicolon. That semicolon tells me to pause and that there's another part of the sentence. Periods tell us that that's the end of an idea, and we should lower our voice just a little bit at the end of the sentence and then pause before we start the next idea. It also helps us to group words together in sentences to make phrases. I also paid attention to commas, Commas also show us the words in the sentence that belong together in a group or phrase. This next paragraph starts with quotation marks. Quotation marks are a signal to us that somebody is speaking in the story most often. So in this sentence, I see that the speaker is Opal because this story is told from a first-person point of view, and she always uses I to refer to herself as she's telling the story. So I know that this quotation mark says that she is speaking, and I want to make sure my voice reflects that somebody is speaking in the story and who that person is. He just doesn't want to be left alone, I told the preacher. That's all. Let's take him with us. I could understand the way Winn-Dixie felt. Getting left behind probably made his heart feel empty. After a while, the preacher gave in, and everywhere we went, we took Winn-Dixie, even to church. The Open Arms Baptist Church of Naomi isn't a regular-looking church. The building used to be a Pick It Quick store, and when you walk in the front door, the first thing you see is the Pick It Quick motto. It's written on the floor in little tiny red tiles that make great big letters that say, "Pick, pick, pick, quick, quick, quick." The preacher tried painting over those tiles, but the letters won't stay covered up, and so the preacher has just given up and let them be. The other thing about the Open Arms is that is different from other churches is there aren't any pews. People bring in their own fold-up chairs and lawn chairs, and so sometimes it looks more like the congregation is watching a parade or sitting at a barbecue instead of being at church. It's kind of a strange church, and I thought Winn-Dixie would fit right in. Are you noticing how every time I come to the end of a sentence, I pause and I make my voice go down just a little bit to show that I've come to the end of that sentence? I'm just going to read the next few parts as there is some more quotation marks here, and I want you to really notice how I change my voice when I see those quotation marks that signals somebody is speaking in the story. But the first time we brought Winn-Dixie to the Open Arms, the preacher tied him outside the front door. "Why did we bring him all the way here just to tie him up?" I asked the preacher. "Did you notice how